Hello students. In our last videos, we discussed about properties of some of the properties of colloids, colligative properties and Tyndall effect, color, Brownian moment, charge on colloids, electrophoresis. 6 properties we discussed under this heading. 7th property, coagulation or precipitation. It is also called as flocculation. Okay, we'll see the meaning of coagulation here. It is a colloidal solution. So here colloidal particle carries positive charge. Suppose if we remove this positive charge from the colloidal particles, then what happens? Colloidal particles becomes chargeless like this, no charge. So if charge is there means these are repelling with each other. Charge is removed means these starts to attract with each other. These are attracting with each other. So because of these attractions, what happens? Particles are coming close to each other. Particles are coming close to each other. Particles are coming close to each other like this. This is particles are joining together. This is nothing but aggregation. So here particles are aggregates together. So because of this, what happens? Particle size becomes heavy due to gravity. They settle down. So and this and causes the formation of precipitate. Therefore, like this final lay here, precipitate is formed. This is precipitate. Okay. See here what happens when we remove charge from colloidal particles, then they starts to attract with each other and particles are aggregates together, then particles becomes heavy and settle down as a precipitate. So this process is known as coagulation or precipitation. Here what happens? Colloidal solution turns to precipitate. This process is nothing but coagulation. Colloidal solution turns to precipitate on removing charge. Okay, this process is nothing but coagulation. Here, what is coagulation? Colloidal solution turns to precipitate. This process is known as coagulation. Coagulation. Okay, otherwise flocculation, otherwise precipitation. Okay, here opposite process, precipitate to colloidal solution. This already we discussed under peptization. Peptization, one of the method used to prepare colloidal solution. What is peptization means? In peptization, opposite process takes place. Precipitate is freshly formed precipitate is converted into colloidal solution. This process is known as peptization. Peptization. Therefore, here coagulation means colloidal solution to precipitate. Peptization means precipitate to colloidal solution. These two processes are opposite process. Okay, now this is about coagulation, precipitation or flocculation. Now we have two types of colloids, lyophilic colloids, lyophobic colloids. Okay, now how to coagulate lyophobic colloidal solutions, how to coagulate lyophilic colloidal solutions, we will see. First we will see about the coagulation of lyophobic colloids. Lyophobic colloids. Here 5 methods are there to coagulate lyophobic colloids. First one boiling, second one electrophoresis, third one by mixing oppositely charged salts, fourth one by persistent dialysis, prolonged dialysis. Okay, this fourth one. Fifth one by adding electrolytes. We will discuss one after another one. Let us come to first one by boiling. On boiling colloidal solution, we know in a colloidal solution dP and dM will be there. Dispersed phase means colloidal particle. Dispersion medium. Okay, both will be there. On boiling colloidal solution, collisions between dP and dM increases. On boiling colloidal solution, kinetic energy of particles will increase. Therefore, number of collisions between dP and dM increases. Because of these collisions, what happens? This is a colloidal particle over this. What is there? Positive charge is there. Let us say this is positively charged layer over the colloidal particle. When this colloidal particle is strongly hit by the dispersion medium, so when this particle is strongly hit by the dispersion medium, these ions are removed from the these ions removed from the surface of colloidal particle. When this colloidal particle is bombarded by the dispersion medium, then charge present on the colloidal particle removed from the surface of colloidal particle. Therefore colloidal particles are chargeless. So when these are not having charge, these starts to attract with each other. So when these starts to attract with each other means aggregation of particles takes place, which leads to precipitation formation. Finally coagulation takes place. Therefore on boiling colloidal solution, collisions between dP and dm increases. As a result of this, charged ions are removed from the surface of colloidal particle. As charges are removed from the colloidal particles are joining together and form precipitate. So this is nothing but coagulation. Therefore boiling leads to finally coagulation. Okay, second one, by electrophoresis. Already we discussed this yesterday in a previous video. Okay, now come to, this is a U-shaped tube. Okay, this is filled with soul. Here soul is positive soul. When electric field applied, then colloidal particle starts to migrate towards cathode. Cathode is negative charge. Being a negative one, it attracts positively charged colloidal particles towards itself. Therefore these colloidal particles are attracted by the cathode. So after reaching these positively charged colloidal particle, after reaching cathode, these positively charged colloidal particles are neutralized. This negative charge on cathode neutralizes the positive charge on colloidal particle. Therefore colloidal particles becomes chargeless. So these starts to attract with each other and aggregates together and form precipitation over the cathode. So this is nothing but precipitation. So see here, by electrophoresis, in this electrophoresis, colloidal particles migrated towards respective electrode. Here respective electrode means cathode. So there particles are neutralized. Neutralization of charge at electrode. So particles are neutralized. Charge is removed from the particles. Therefore after removal of charge, particles are aggregates together and form precipitate over the cathode. So finally precipitation formation takes place. Okay, electrophoresis leads to the formation of precipitate. Okay, so this is second method. Now by mixing oppositely charged souls. So here positive soul, negative soul, these two souls are mixing together. See, after mixing what happens? See, here what will be there? Let us assume this positive soul, this as this positive soul, this positive colloidal particle, this negatively charged colloidal particle. See here, these are neutralizes mutually. See, the positive charge over this particle is neutralized by this particle. The negative charge over this particle is neutralized by this positive charge. So this positive charge is neutralized by the negative charge on this particle. The negative charge on this particle is neutralized by positive charge on this particle. Therefore charge cancellation takes place. So both positive soul particles and negative soul particles becomes chargeless. Therefore these positively charged soul particles are chargeless and aggregates together and precipitated down. Similarly negatively charged soul particles are aggregates together and settle down as a precipitate. Therefore in this way this positive soul precipitate down and negative soul also precipitate down. So precipitation of this positive soul is due to negative soul. Precipitation of negative soul is due to positive soul. This is mutual coagulation. So here positive, this is positive soul. This positive soul coagulated by the action of negative soul. Here negative soul is precipitated by the action of positive soul. Therefore both precipitated down. This is nothing but mutual coagulation. See, when ferric hydroxide soul positive soul, arsenic sulfide soul, negative soul. Those two souls are mixed together, then precipitation takes place, that is mutual coagulation. Okay, now next method by persistent dialysis. Persistent prolonged dialysis, over dialysis, excess dialysis. See here, this is a parchment paper bag. Inside sole colloidal solution is there. This parchment paper bag act as a semi-permeable membrane. Parchment paper bag or animal membrane, anyone, which act as a semi-permeable membrane, which is suspended in water. So this water inlet for water, this is outlet. See here, these are true solution particles, electrolytes. These can pass through the semi-permeable membrane. This is semi-permeable. Therefore, after some time, all ions are removed from the colloidal solution. This is colloidal solution. Colloidal particle, positive charge present on the colloidal particle. That's why here this soul is said to be positive soul. During dialysis, what happens? These positively charged particles comes out through the semi-permeable membrane. Therefore, from the colloidal solution, all ions are removed now. So, when all ions, charged particles are removed out, they entered into the water. Yeah. So now, no charge over the colloidal particle. Therefore, colloidal particles, two such colloidal particles are joined together and settle down as precipitate, like this, and settle down as precipitate. Finally, this is nothing but precipitation of colloidal solution. Okay, on prolonged dialysis, ions are completely removed out. Ions which are present on the colloidal particle are removed out. As ions are removed out, colloidal particle becomes chargeless. After removing charge, colloidal particle starts to attract and form precipitated. Therefore, ions are completely removed out. Therefore, because of this, no charge over the colloidal particle, hence aggregation takes place. It leads to the formation of precipitate. So here, persistent dialysis, over dialysis leads to the precipitation. Over dialysis leads to the coagulation of colloidal solution. Okay, that's why while purifying colloidal solution, only excessive ions are removed. Dialysis performed to some extent only, but over dialysis causes the precipitation of colloidal solution. That's why dialysis carried in a limited time and excessive ions only removed. Okay, over dialysis leads to the coagulation of colloidal solution. Okay, this is about persistent dialysis. Okay, now next method we will see by adding electrolyte. Okay, now come to our fifth point, by adding electrolyte. See, when electrolyte is added to lyophobic colloidal solution, coagulation takes place. How it will happen, we will see. Electrolyte means it is a combination of cation and anion. Anion. Okay. See, let us assume some cations: Na plus Ba plus 2 Al plus 3, Th thorium plus 4, Cl minus SO4 minus 2, PO4 minus 3, ferrocyanide ion. Okay. Here, this is a negative soul. Here, over the colloidal particle, negative charge is present. Negatively charged particles adsorbed over the colloidal particle, hence it is negative soul. Okay, here over colloidal particle, this is colloidal particle, over colloidal particle positive charge is there, that's why it is positive soul. Okay, now here these ions may neutralize this negative charge. This negative charge on colloidal particle is neutralized by these positive ions. Once these colloidal particles are neutralized, means like this, they become chargeless. When they become chargeless, these are attracted. Therefore, what happens? Like these particles are aggregates together and finally leads to the precipitation. Therefore, see, when these positive ions neutralizes the negative charge on colloidal particle, particle starts to attract with each other, aggregation takes place, finally it leads to the precipitation. This is nothing but coagulation. So when positive ions are added to this negative sol, then it leads to the precipitation. Okay, this is nothing but coagulation. Okay, now here all these ions may neutralize the negative charge on colloidal particle. But here 1 unit positive charge, here 2 units, here 3 units, here 4 unit. So this TH, thorium ion, having 4 units positive charge, by using its 4 unit positive charge, it can neutralize more extent of negative charge. See, Na plus means 1 unit negative charge is neutralized. Ba plus 2 means 2 units. Okay, like that. But see here, Al plus 3 means just 3 units. Okay, thorium ion means 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Therefore, this thorium ion neutralizes more negative charge on the colloidal particle. So, therefore, it neutralizes more negative charge on colloidal particle means it causes coagulation more readily. It causes coagulation more readily than other positive ions. Therefore, coagulating power of this ion is relatively more for this thorium ion. So, it neutralizes negative charge to more extent, then coagulation more readily takes place with this ion. Therefore, its coagulating power is more. Therefore, here among all these, this ion coagulating power is more. Okay. Here see, come to this point. Here minus 1 unit charge is there, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. See, all these ions can neutralize the positive charge on this positively charged colloidal particle. 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4. But this can neutralize here over ferrocyanide ion 4 units negative charge is there. So it can neutralize positive charge to more extent. One ion can neutralize 4 units of positive charge. Therefore, it can neutralize positive charge to more extent. Therefore, it can causes coagulation more readily than these ions. Therefore, its coagulating power is more. So, from this discussion, 2 points are clear to us. See here, first point is, see here for the coagulation of negative sol, positive ions are responsible. For the coagulation of negative sol, positive ions means cations are responsible. Cations are responsible for the coagulation of negative sol. Here, see, for the coagulation of positive sol, negative ions are responsible. See here, this is important point. See here, see, positive sol is coagulated by negative ion. Negative sol is coagulated by positive ion. Means ion that having opposite charge to that of colloidal particle causes coagulation. See here, these ions having opposite charge to that of colloidal particle causes coagulation. Such ions are active ions. In case of positive sol, these are active ions. In case of negative sol, these are active ions. What is active ion? See, active ion is an ion that carries opposite charge to that of colloidal particle and causes coagulation. Here, these are active ions. These carries opposite charge to that of colloidal particle and causes coagulation. Therefore, what is active ion? Ion that causes coagulation is active ion. Next important point. See, the coagulating power of active ion. See, all these causes coagulation, but the coagulating power of this active ion is more. So, why? Because see, charge is increasing from Na plus to thorium plus 4. Therefore, as charge increases, coagulating power increases. So, here among these, which is having more coagulating power? This is having more coagulating power. Why? Because it neutralizes positive charge here to more extent and it readily causes coagulation, and coagulating power is more for this ion. Therefore, more the charge on active ion, more the coagulating power. This point is very, very important. coagulating power of an active ion is directly proportional to charge on it. So this statement is Hardy-Schulze rule. This is very, very important. See here, these 2 points are important. This, see, coagulating power of an ion, coagulating power of an active ion is directly proportional to charge on it. This statement is Hardy-Schulze rule. Hardy-Schulze rule. Here 2 points clear. Ion that carries opposite charge to that of colloidal particle causes coagulation. Such ion is active ion. Next one, see, more the charge on active ion, more the charge on active ion, more the, here this, more the charge on active ion, more the coagulating power. Among these ions, it causes coagulation readily. Hence, its coagulating power is more. So, coagulating power of an active ion is directly proportional to charge on it. More the charge on active ion, more the coagulating power. This is Hardy-Schulze rule. Come to here. See, for the coagulation of negative soles, coagulating power, coagulating power of these ions will be in this order according to this statement. More the charge, more the coagulating power. Charge is decreasing, therefore coagulating power decreasing. Okay, for the coagulation of negative soles, coagulating power decreasing in this order. Why? Because charge is decreasing. As charge decreases, coagulating power decreases in case of negative soles. Okay, now here coagulating value or flocculating value. Coagulation value or flocculation value. See here. See, let us assume NaCl and K4FeCN6. Assume these two electrolytes. Okay. Suppose we want to coagulate this positive sole. In order to coagulate this positive sole, so here I am using two electrolytes, sodium chloride, potassium ferrocyanide. See, actually here which ion is active ion? This is a positive sole. In order to coagulate positive sole, negative ion is active ion. Here plus minus. Therefore, this is the active ion. So Cl minus is the active ion in this electrolyte. Okay. So in order to coagulate positive sole, in this electrolyte which ion is active? Opposite charge. Here positive means here negative ion. What is negative ion in this electrolyte? FeCN6 whole power minus 4. So in this electrolyte, this is the active ion. In this electrolyte, this is the active ion. So we know here among these two, which is having more coagulating power, more the charge on ion, more the coagulating power. Here 4 units negative charge, here 1 unit. Here more charge is there, quantity, negative charge quantity here more. More the charge, more the coagulating power. Therefore, because here it is having less coagulating power, that's why this electrolyte needs more amount. So and here Cl minus coagulating power is relatively less. Because of less coagulating power, this electrolyte needs more in quantity. More amount is required. More amount is required to coagulate this positive sole, because Cl minus is having less coagulating power. That's why this electrolyte needs more amount to cause coagulation of positive sole. See, this is active ion here, its coagulating power is more. That's why this electrolytes needs less amount of this enough to cause the coagulation of positive sole. Therefore, here different electrolytes needs in different quantities to coagulate a colloidal solution. This means more amount is required. This means less amount enough. Okay, different electrolytes needs different electrolytes requires in different quantities to cause the coagulation of a colloidal solution. So coagulating power more means quantity less. Coagulating power less means quantity more. Okay, here see the coagulating power of electrolytes expressed in terms of coagulation value or flocculation value. What is this term? This term express the to express the coagulating power of electrolytes, coagulation value, flocculation value, this term is used to express the coagulating power of an electrolyte. What is coagulating power of an electrolyte? We will see. What is coagulating value? We will see. Coagulating value or flocculation value. It is nothing but minimum number of millimoles of an electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloidal solution in 2 hours. See, what is this? This is minimum number of millimoles of an electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloidal solution in 2 hours. Very simple. It is nothing but amount of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter colloidal solution. It is minimum amount of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter colloidal solution. Okay, see among these two, which is required in minimum, which is required in less quantity? This requires less quantity, this requires more quantity. Therefore, this requires less in quantity. That's why its coagulation value less. So these electrolytes need small in quantity. Therefore, its coagulating value less. Why? Because it needs small quantity of this electrolyte is enough to cause the coagulation of this sole. Why? Here this ion having more coagulating power. That's why this electrolyte needs small quantity to coagulate 1 liter of this colloidal solution. That's why its coagulation value is less. See here, this ion having its coagulating power is less. That's why this electrolyte needs more quantity. Therefore, its coagulating value is more. So NaCl requires more in quantity in order to cause the coagulation of positive sole. Therefore, here coagulating power more means coagulating value less. Here coagulating power less means coagulating value more. Therefore, what is the relation between coagulating power and coagulating value? Inversely proportional to each other. Therefore, coagulating power inversely proportional to coagulation value. This is very, very important. Coagulating power inversely proportional to coagulation value. Here coagulating power is more, hence for this electrolyte coagulation value is less. Here for this active ion coagulating power is less, its coagulating value is more. Therefore, coagulating power is inversely proportional to coagulation value. This is very, very important point. What is coagulation value or flocculation value? It is nothing but minimum amount of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloidal solution. Exact definition means minimum number of millimoles of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloidal solution in 2 hours time. Okay, this is coagulation value. So it is used to express the coagulating power of an electrolyte. Coagulating power of an electrolyte expressed in terms of coagulation value or flocculation value. More the coagulation value, lesser the coagulating power of an electrolyte, like this. Okay. Now, coagulation of lyophilic colloid. Now we discussed about the coagulation of lyophobic colloids. Various methods we discussed: boiling, by persistent dialysis, and by electrophoresis, and by adding electrolyte. All those are methods under coagulating methods under lyophobic colloid. Right now we will discuss about the coagulation of lyophilic colloids. Lyophilic colloids. You know, this is lyophilic colloid, this is lyophobic colloid. What is the difference means, you know, around lyophobic colloid only charges are present over the lyophobic colloid, but there is no solvent layer. Here see, here this is lyophilic colloid. How to recognize lyophilic colloid means, here around lyophilic colloid there is a solvent layer, because lyophilic colloids having more affinity towards solvent, that's why around lyophilic colloid there will be solvent layer. Here solvent means water, so water layer is there, so the charge also is there. Here only charge is there, but no solvent layer, because lyophobic colloid not having any affinity towards, this is not having any affinity towards solvent, that's why solvent layer absent. Here solvent layer is present. Okay, lyophilic colloids are stable. You know, charge on colloidal particle is responsible for the stability of colloidal solution. Charge on colloidal particle is the responsible for stability. Here lyophilic colloid stability depends on charge. This is responsible for the stability. Lyophilic colloid stable due to charge. One factor is charge, and the solvent layer also increases the stability. So two reasons are there: charge and solvent layer. So these two stabilize the lyophilic colloidal solution. But in case of lyophobic colloid, only here this lyophilic colloid stable only due to charge. Only one factor is there, that is charge factor stabilize the lyophobic colloid. Therefore here two factors stabilize the lyophilic colloid, here only one factor stabilize the lyophobic colloid. Therefore which is more stable? Lyophilic colloid is more stable. That's why lyophilic colloids are more stable. Lyophobic colloids are less stable. Therefore it is easy to coagulate lyophobic colloidal solutions than that of see, coagulation of lyophilic colloidal solution is difficult, because these are more stable. Due to more stability, coagulation of these sols is difficult. These are less stable. That's why coagulation of these lyophobic colloids is easy. Okay. Now here see, by adding small amount of electrolyte to lyophobic colloid, it leads to the coagulation and forms precipitate. Small electrolyte is enough to coagulate lyophobic colloid. Okay, but by adding electrolyte we can coagulate this lyophilic colloid, but here see more. So more, because it is more stable, that's why more electrolyte is required to coagulate lyophilic colloid. This is the difference. This is small electrolyte enough here, because it is less stable. Here more electrolyte is required, because it is more stable. Okay, so how to coagulate lyophilic colloid? By adding electrolyte, just like in case of lyophobic colloid. Okay, now one more thing here, desolvating agent, like ethyl alcohol, acetone, ethyl alcohol and acetone. These solvents are added to lyophilic colloids. Then these solvents attracts these water molecules, because these are strong affinity towards water, because after attracting water molecules, these can form strong hydrogen bonds with water. That's why these having more affinity towards water. When these solvents are added to lyophilic colloids, these breaks these solvent layer. All water molecules migrates towards alcohol, ethyl alcohol and acetone. Therefore solvent layer breaks down. Therefore when solvent layer breaks down means its stability decreases. Therefore it readily coagulates. It readily converts into precipitate. Therefore by adding desolvating agent to lyophilic colloids, we can convert lyophilic colloids into precipitate. When these solvents are added, these breaks water layer, therefore these lyophilic colloid stability decreases and readily converts into precipitate and causes coagulation. Therefore this is another method. By adding electrolyte, we can convert lyophilic colloids into precipitate, and second one by adding desolvating agents. So by adding desolvating agent also we can convert lyophilic colloids into precipitate. These are two methods used to coagulate lyophilic colloids. Okay, thank you.